We are going to be analyzing the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, written and directed by Stanley Kubrick. This film is known for its editing techniques, which we will be looking at. The first type of editing is called continuity editing, which, as Richard Barsam's and Dave Monahan state, is a style of editing that seeks to achieve logic, smoothness, sequential flow, and the temporal and spatial orientation of views to what they see on screen. A specific type of continuity editing is an editing technique called match on action, which, as Rebecca Kane from Georgia Tech states, is where one cuts between two different shots that have the same kind of geometry. Let's take a look at an example of a match on action. As you can see in the scene, the bone from the ape world turns into a spaceship that is shaped the same as the bone. This is one of the most famous examples of a match on action and how it can be seamlessly done. Next, let's take a look at discontinuity editing, which, as Richard Barsam's and Dave Monahan states, is a style of editing that joins shots A and B in ways that upsets the viewer's expectations and causes momentary disorientation or confusion. Let's take a look at an example in 2001: A Space Odyssey. As you can see, towards the end of the scene is a combination of shots that do not flow together seamlessly and are disruptive to the flow of the scene. From the fist of the ape to the bones to the animal to the ape and back to the fist, and so on and so forth, creates a scene that disrupts the natural flow of the scene. 2001: A Space Odyssey is a science fiction film that will never be forgotten for its amazing work in science fiction and in editing. As Mint states, 2001 is the finest form of poetry in the garb of science fiction. It is a dreamscape masquerading as cold outer space. It is an experience that you immerse both your left brain, the seat of logical thinking, and the right brain, the seat of creative thinking, in. This quote shows the masterpiece that is 2001: A Space Odyssey. It is impressive for its time and genre, and will be forever a famous science fiction movie for that reason. Lastly, let's take a look at another Stanley Kubrick movie called The Shining. It has similar editing techniques as in 2001: A Space Odyssey. For example, it has a discontinuity shot. Let's take a look.
Come and play with us, Danny. Forever and ever and ever.
In this scene, it abruptly cuts from the twin girls to the blood scene, back to the girls, to the blood scene, and then to Danny. This is discontinuity because of how it abruptly changes shots and makes the audience feel upset. Overall, Stanley Kubrick is an incredible director and writer for his talented work in editing in 2001: A Space Odyssey and The Shining. These films, especially 2001: A Space Odyssey, will never be forgotten for the ahead-of-time editing.